Okay, good morning and welcome to my channel. It is November 6, 2020, and boy, do we have a lot of breaking news. We've got an election that is off to a fiery start. I believe that Joe Biden is in the lead in a number of states, and he may potentially become the president-elect or the president before all this is done. However, the election is not done. Not every legally counted vote is in, and so we don't know where this is really going to go. Now, one thing I want to tell you guys is I have no other choice but to report on political news because it actually severely affects what I do as a YouTube channel creator. I'm out here fighting to get you guys housing, okay? And depending on who takes this office is going to depend very heavily on whether or not we get more funding and other things, okay? So I don't really have a choice. As I've always told you guys, I will remain neutral in this factor. I didn't vote for either one of these guys, so I really don't have any stake in this. In fact, you could be a Martian from Saturn as long as you supported getting people off the street and into housing. You would likely, I would likely have some support for you. It doesn't mean I'd vote for you, but that's the only focus as for my channel is whether or not people get housing fairly and during a pandemic especially. So with all that being said, we're going to discuss the universal housing vouchers, okay? And this is by Joe Biden. Now, one thing you should know is I am working hard behind the scenes to get more information about this, okay? Joe Biden hasn't released a lot of information, so this is what I do know. You know, with the new funding, it will allow 11 million new people that are low income to get housing, okay? Which means all these big criterias of having to, you know, almost be in a wheelchair will no longer be there. I mean, they will still, people that have extreme disabilities obviously will still be able to get housing a little bit quicker. But this would allow more people to just get housing in principle, okay? We have to remember that even low-income people that work, you know, they produce revenue and they produce taxes, and I think that they're entitled to the same benefits as anybody else, okay? That's what this country is built on, is being American, and we have to look out for each other, whether we're in a red or a blue state or whether we're political or not political, okay? So beyond the 11 million new vouchers we're going to get, the increase of funding would also allow people to not just go live in the worst neighborhoods in every city, okay? The new funding would allow people to go and live in moderate areas. I'm not saying that Section 8 housing or HUD homes would be in the rich areas or predominantly upper class neighborhoods. I'm just saying that with more funding, people would be able to get a possibly pretty close to a normal apartment, okay? You know, at the end of all this, you know, if you remove politics and everything else, we're, you know, just humans. We have two eyeballs, two arms, two legs, and we reproduce, and then one day we die, okay? That, you know, at the end of it all, when you take your last breath, the only thing you can look back on is how good of a human have I been in this world. So, you know, that's, you know, going back to that universal vouchers by Joe Biden, I believe would help the country. Now, I don't think there's enough housing to cover 11 million new people, but with new funding, that would certainly give more inspiration to more people to rent and lease to people that need housing. You know, with this next wave in January, millions of people that are middle class that are now becoming lower class, they need places to live too. So in a time of emergency, this is what we have to do. So beyond those things, there's not a lot more I can add to the Universal Housing Choice Voucher other than the fact that there's a lot of funding, but allow people in principle that are low income to get housing without having to have extreme disabilities, okay? Now, beyond that, this channel will be covering Trump and Biden news and all the different things that are going to be happening. Because as I've said, you know, a lot of the a lot of the traffic that YouTube normally gets, we're no longer getting that on YouTube. It's all focused on the TV and people wanting to know what's going on. So between that and, you know, the presidency at stake and the funding, I really don't have any other choice but then to, you know, turn the channel slightly into the political arena temporarily until all this has been settled, whether it be through the Supreme Court or whatever it may be, or by lawyers, okay? The other thing I want to mention is I have already said as of November 1st, I am not accepting any new clients for consultation, okay? I know you guys know that I do consultation to help people get housing. Look, there's no funding out there. Most housing authorities are out of money. There are no vouchers really to be had in that many areas of the country anymore. The continuum of care, which is funded by the federal government, which is the coordinated access system, they're out of money too in most parts of the country. So for me to take your money and continue to consult would be dishonest, okay? But I'm still getting a lot of emails about this. Look, until January 1st hits, until we resolve this election, my advice to people would be virtually, look, you're just giving your money away, okay? Now, if you guys want to do that, you want to give me $20 here and there just because you want to, I can't stop you. But I've got to tell you, I'm dealing with 2 sick parents. We're dealing with an election, and I'm just telling you, it's the end of the year. There's no funding left with a lot of this. If you're fortunate enough to live in the Midwest where the housing authorities still have a little bit of cash, trust me, if they're going to take people, they're going to take them because they're in a wheelchair. They're not going to take them simply because you're being evicted or you're running a place to live. I've warned everybody since March about that, so I'm going to repeat it again, that my consulting services are closed till January. There's nothing I can really do for anybody right now. If things change and there's more money involved and we get a stimulus check or something like that, then there will be a big flood of money, and then I might, at that consideration, resume. But as it stands now, I can't. So the main points that I'm going to make today is we've got a fairly good chance that we're going to get these universal housing vouchers. So we have a good chance that Biden may be elected. And I'm absolutely not taking on any more consulting jobs until January 1st unless we receive stimulus money, which would prove to me that I have a chance to consult you on actually being able to get you housing. So with that being said, I've enjoyed having y'all this morning, and I will be reporting more often, both on the political arena and also housing as it becomes available, okay? So I want y'all to have a good morning, and we'll see you again.